What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in. Welcome back to another episode. In this episode, we are going to be unboxing our new iC-7 dash and installing it. So let's go ahead and check it out. Already went ahead and opened the box and made sure everything was good. Here we have the main connector with the pins. Here we have our connector cable, and then in here we have our CAN cable that's gonna connect to the ECU. Here we have a nice illustration of what it's going to look like. That is sick. There's also a template, pretty handy, and our allocations on our main connector. So here it is, guys. This is what I got in this kit. I got the CAN cable that's gonna connect to our wideband box. I got a cable to connect to the dash. We got our main connector. We got our diagram. We are going to wire some stuff to it, some dash features. And in addition, I got another pressure sensor coming, and we're gonna be using it for fuel. I'm gonna go ahead and wire it directly to our dash. So now I'm gonna go ahead and select the dash features that we're gonna be utilizing. Select some wires and some colors, and we are going to wire our own dash harness. I also got a mounting base for our dash, 3D printed piece on eBay. And we're gonna go ahead and try it out with our dash. Go ahead and comment down below, guys. Let me know what you guys think. And we're back. It's already another day. I just mocked it in real quick. The harness is not attached or anything. I just wanted to put it in place, see if it fit correctly, and everything worked out. There we go, guys. I'm pretty excited about this. It's coming together. So now the next step will be to pin our main connector with our blinkers, fuel, high beams, all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and do that. So in addition, I went ahead and replaced our old fuel pressure gauge. I actually went ahead and got a fuel pressure sensor that I'm gonna be wiring also to the ECU. Actually, I think I'm gonna wire this one directly to the dash, and that will be easier. So I already started making a harness for our new fuel pressure sensor. So we're gonna go ahead and knock this one out real quick. I got the pins here for the plug. And then after we knock out this harness, we're gonna go ahead and run it and then prepare our iC-7 main connector. So here we have it. I already plugged it in. I haven't fully ran it through. This is the other end. Got a nice sleeve on. I just gotta now route it through the firewall and then take it all the way to the dash. So here it is. Our harness came all the way to the rear of the dash. We got the plugs here that we're gonna be tapping into. And then at this point, we gotta go back and build our 34 pin connector for our iC-7. So I already made the allocations. I picked the color of wires that I was gonna use, and let's get it. Making progress so far. I put all the cables in this nice little braid, and now we're gonna splice in our pins. So I thought I was going on a roll getting this thing done, but I think we did a step forward and a few backwards. These wires that I bought, they are silicone insulated wire, so they are a little bit more softer than other wires. They're more malleable and stuff. So on that note, the problem I'm having is after I pin all the pins and everything, whenever I go to put a pin in, it doesn't want to fully go in. And this pins and this connector, they go in pretty tight, and it's not letting me push the pin all the way in, so it's seated where it's supposed to go. And what it does is that the cable starts giving away its strength, and that's as far as it goes. And then it starts twisting, and it does not want to go in all the way. So I'm afraid I just wasted all these pins and this little bit of wire. Well, at this point, I'm afraid we gotta start over. So let's just go ahead and do that. So now the problem over here that we were gonna have also, but I didn't really get to, I used the same type of wire for the fuel pressure sensor hardness, which meaning I can't really pin anything here because it's gonna do the same thing. It's gonna literally do this, and it doesn't go in the connector. So what I was thinking, I got this other more stiffer wire with a PVC insulation. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna crimp this here to this side because I don't really want to redo the whole harness, and we're gonna just crimp them here and plug them in the connector to the dash. So here I spliced them up real quick. Pins are ready to go. I'm just gonna add a little bit more heat shrink to keep them together, but they are ready. I just went ahead and put some heat shrink on, not too much. I also went through the pinout and find the wires that I'm gonna be tapping into to be able to wire the dash. So here's a pretty big takeaway for anyone doing this job. I'll suggest for this type of job at least, stay away from the silicone wires. Get some wires with the more stiff PVC, I'm pretty sure it's called, or something along those lines, but it's a more stiff insulation, so it will allow you to actually push the pin all the way in where it's supposed to go. Also, I'm pretty sure you learned that already, but do not pin all your wires unless you try them out first. So now moving on, we're gonna put this to the side and we're gonna continue wiring our dash. So at this point, the harness is ready to be put in the car and plugged in the dash. We just gotta add in our fuel pressure sensor. It's already good to go inside the car already, so let's go ahead and put it all together. So from inside the car, I got our fuel pressure sensor ready to go. I got our connector here for the dash. I went and tapped into all the wires I needed to tap in.
try to make it as neatly as I could. And I think it's ready to receive the dash, and we're gonna power it up for the first time. So here we are, guys. It's been a couple days. I'm upgrading the firmware. So here we are, guys. It's been a couple days. I kind of got sick in between, but here I am. I'm upgrading the firmware to the new Nexus for the dash, and we'll see. We're gonna try to configure it. I still gotta plug in our fuel pressure sensor and also figure out where I'm gonna tap into for our fuel level sensor. So here I had to go a couple steps backwards. My left and right turn signals are not working on the dash. I only followed the pinout. I didn't really test them because every wire on the pinout lined up exactly with the color and position that was on the plug. So since it lined up so perfectly, I took the chance and wired it up, but I gotta go back and test and see what's trying to figure out what's happening. So it's been a couple days. I've been pretty sick, but I'm back in here trying to chop at it. Last time I was working on it, I was up pretty late. I was having a lot of electrical issues, and the gremlins just kept multiplying. Like I will turn on my parking lights and the high beam indicator will turn on. I will turn the hazards on and the high beam indicator will turn on, and the hazards will stay on, will not blink, like all sorts of electrical problems. And I think I narrow it down. Not just that, but I will turn off the car, pull the key out, and the ECU will still powered on. Somehow it was getting back feed power from somewhere, and I think it was this cable that I plugged into in the dash. So after chasing all the electrical gremlins, going back, researching, tracing my steps back, I think I may have wired an input in the wrong spot, and it's back feeding the ECU and causing sort of a bridge between the headlights and some crazy stuff. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cut this wire out and see if that solves our problems. It is pouring out here today. So I'm gonna try to explain it the best I can, and here we go. So that cluster illumination supply was a power cable that I tied up to the rear of the dash, so therefore adding another power source to the dash. So what happened, that electricity that went there jumped that circuit and fried our hazard button. After it fried our hazard button, it created all sorts of electrical problems, pretty much creating a bridge between the high beams, the turn signals, the hazards. So now when I go in and I turn my parking lights on, my high beams come on. My left and right turn indicators don't work right now, and when I turn the hazards on, the high beams come on. And like that wasn't enough, whenever I turn my parking lights on, this light lights up only one of the filaments very dimly, and when I move the cables out here on the back, the rear light starts flickering. But I think that's a ground problem that was there before the dash situation. So we got a couple of electrical problems in our hands, and yeah, it's giving me a lot of headaches right now. So after hours of troubleshooting, come to find out that feeding that power wire to the dash actually fried our hazard switch, most likely fried our flasher relay, and it's bridging into our high beams also. So definitely I have to go back to the drawing board. I need to go online and buy a couple parts to be able to make it work again. And also, in addition, we need to find out what's going on with this light harness and why is it bridging with our high beams. So I think on that note, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this video here. At least the dash, I don't think it suffered any major hardware damage, or the ECU either. They seem to be powering on and off normally, so that was lucky. Anyhow, I hope you guys got something out of it, but as always, I hope everyone have a fantastic time. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.